These are 6 uses of auxiliary verbs that you have to know. Number 1. We use them to agree together with neither or so. For example, I love doing business, and so do I. I have been to Rome 3 times. So have I. I haven't been to New York yet. Neither have I. So we use so plus the auxiliary verb plus the subject to agree that we have done something. Or alternatively, we can use neither plus the auxiliary verb plus the subject to agree that we haven't done something. Number 2, we can also use auxiliary verbs to disagree. For example, I am not going to the meeting, and another person is gonna say,
but I am.
I didn't like the food. Oh, I did. You will be here before midnight. No, I won't. Use number 3. We also use auxiliary verbs to avoid repetition. For example, I don't like going to spas, but my wife does. I thought I had lost my keys, but I haven't. Tom can play the guitar, but Tina can't. She has never had to face such difficulties, but I have. If the first part doesn't contain an auxiliary verb, you have to use do or did or does. Some wanted to go on with our plan, but others didn't. Number 4, in reply questions. We use reply questions to show interest or surprise. And in reply questions, we have to use the same auxiliary as in the previous sentence. And if there is no auxiliary verb, we have to use do or does or did. If the verb in the previous sentence is positive, then the auxiliary verb has to be positive. Hence, if the verb in the previous sentence is negative, the auxiliary verb in the question has to be negative as well. For example, she hasn't passed the exam, and another person would say, hasn't she? I thought she would. I won't be able to be there, won't you? Oh, that's a shame. We also use auxiliary verbs to show emphasis. You don't like cars.
I do like cars.
In this case, we are incorporating the auxiliary verb do in an affirmation, which, as you know, is not necessary in affirmations with simple tenses. We normally use the emphasis when we want to contradict what somebody says. And the last one, use number 6. We use question tags at the end of sentences to ask for confirmation or to check that the information we think is true. If the verb in the sentence is positive, the auxiliary verb in the question tag has to be negative, and vice versa. For example, he is from Liverpool, isn't he? You have done this before, haven't you? In the question tag, we use the same subject that appears in the sentence, but always in the form of a personal pronoun. I, you, he, she, it. We also have to make sure that we use the same auxiliary verb in the question tag as in the main sentence. Lisa went there by train, didn't she? Shops are closed today, aren't they? You don't have a car, do you?